Hello, I'm Randall Chongson, and I'm gonna do another video for you. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please hit the subscribe button and hit that bell, whatever that does. So I'm here with a good friend. Ako matagal na namin pinlano to. And for some reason, we have not done this, but I'm really know a lady with no instruction except I call her the queen of personal finance. Salve Duplito. Salve. Kamusta?
Thank you, Randall. Finally. Finally, nandito na tayo.
ECQ has been good to you. O, di ba? Parang bumata ka ba? Or...
Well, I tried to lose weight. It went up, then went down, went up, went
Why
down.
did it
Alam
go
ko
up?
ba?
Go up kasi luto ka na luto, gano'n?
Yes, luto ng luto, kain ng kain, anxiety, syempre, hanap ka ng matamis, Tapos, mamaya, you try to lose weight, pero hindi mo masustain, kain ka na naman. Ganun talaga.
Okay, so ayan. Gano'n talaga. Ay, okay na yan.
Oh.
Di ba? I think...
Mahirap yan for us. I mean, di ba, kasi on TV, you're 10 pounds heavier. So, ang hirap with my weight. Alam mo naman, ang storya natin tungkol sa business class na hindi ko abot yung lalagyan ng bagahe sa taas.
It's also the age, no?
I mean, with my height kasi, the moment I gain 1 more pound, it looks really bad.
Gano'n talaga, ano?
Oo. Alam mo naman, Randall, sa social media, walang patawad yung mga tao. Pag tumataba ako, nagko-comment sila.
Is talaga nila yon?
Ma'am, I watched you today. It looks like you gained a lot of weight. Please don't eat rice. Mga ganyan. Concern.
Okay, love ka lang nila.
I'm sure. I love them too.
Yung mga bashers natin, gano'n. Yung mga...
Ganun din. Ma'am, hindi na kayo kasya sa TV ko.
I read one of our old bashes, siguro mga 5 years ago. May nag-resuscitate.
May nag-pop up na naman.
Sabi ko, ito pa nakatindi ng mga bashes namin. I totally...
Hindi ka makalimutan.
Ha?
Hindi ka nila makalimutan.
Oo, tsaka wala na. Hindi naman sila pinapatulan. Actually, I don't get to read a lot of it now anymore. Unlike before. So again, talking about these things, Salve, you are the queen of personal finance. You are the on the money. Congratulations. Ilang taon na on the money?
8 years. Well, we started in 2012.
Oh, wow.
So this is our 8th year.
Wow. So like
actually, anniversary na namin, Randall. Ang galing ng timing mo.
So,
July will be our 8th year.
Yeah. So congratulations to the whole team, sila Aisa and everybody.
Thank you for helping us. You're part of it also.
Talaga na to. And really, it's timely, we want to be able to do that. But how do you handle it? Because you're the queen of personal finance. People think you are such an expert in finance. Siguro people think that sobrang milyonaryo ka na or billionaire. How do you handle all these things, Salve?
Alam mo, ikaw lang naman talaga nagpasimula niyang queen na yan eh. Diba? In the beginning, I was like, Randall, talaga ba queen? Tapos I was resisting it. Diba? Pero ikaw kasi, when you start saying that, paulit-ulit pa, tapos mamaya, everybody does it na. And then remember your Viber group?
Yeah.
Pero I remember, I went to that event in Mega Mall, tapos when I was looking at the pictures, ako nga lang pala talaga ang babae doon.
Tapos si Rex Mendoza will call you queen and everything.
Queen, oo nga. So it stuck.
Sabihin ni Marvin, ang yaman-yaman mo.
I know, sabi ko, Marvin, humble tayo, di ba? Ang mayaman si Henry C, ganon. Pero, but I think people kasi would like to follow people who they think are in a better place. So, while hindi mo naman sinasabing mayaman ka, kasi ako, I really shy away from saying that because, as always, there's somebody who will be richer than you. There's somebody who's not as well off. Mm-hmm. So, it's really, parang I'm uncomfortable with comparing or even parang giving mga ito mayaman siya, mas mayaman. I mean, in our industry, you can't do that because there are a lot more people who are richer than you, people who are not, and it's really useless to compare yourself with others. And that's one of the personal finance talaga na mga concepts that we teach other people, that it's not good to compare yourself. Pero you and I came from a time when nobody really was talking about personal finance. We remember those times na parang bagong-bago pa, di ba? Bagong-bago pa yung konsepto, wala pa masyadong mga katulad nyo na professionally you speak about it, you have events. I mean, you develop that industry, you events on financial literacy, and you develop that platform. Ako, basically, media lang ako, but you guys, ibang level yung ginawa nyo to develop that awareness of what financial literacy is.
Even the media, that was a discussion in the media. I remember during that time, it's very, very hard to look for personal finance related, no? Siyempre, may stock market, may economics.
Yeah. No, I told you about that event back in 1997 during the financial crisis, di ba? Na every day I was going to work in business world, and my job was really to look at the market. So my coverage was central bank, private banking, and I also reported on the peso dollar rate. And so that was an everyday thing. Pero kasi lagi nakadikit yung mukha ko sa Bloomberg monitor, di ba?
Mm-hmm.
And then I was realizing, at that time, second wave or third wave ng brain drain na yon, Randall. If you notice, in the 90s, marami na tayo mga tito and tita na nurse sa Amerika, di ba? Na seaman sa somewhere. And I was thinking, ang dami ng taong umaalis, pangalawang wave na to, ano nang nangyayari sa kanila? And I remember talaga very clearly my thought process at the time na they are trying to leave the country because there's a big hole in their finances. And what they want is, they're hoping that a higher salary overseas will fill up that hole. Diba? And solve all their problems. Parang instant millionaire na ako, okay na buhay ko. Diba? Dapat ganon. Pero if you really look at what happened, that higher income did not do them any good. In fact, it created a hankering in your soul for a different kind of lifestyle. So the higher income increased their lifestyle. The small hole they left behind here became bigger. When they went to America, when they went to other countries, hindi na solve yung problema. And so naisip ko nung time na yun, I was looking at Susie Orman. Bata-bata pa si Susie Orman nun.
I don't
na late 90s, bata-bata pa siya. Tapos hindi pa ganun ka kulay yung buhok niya. Pero naka-jacket na siya lagi. Pero nagsisimula pa lang yung career niya noon. Kasi iniisip ko, alam mo yung mga Pilipino, hindi additional income ang solusyon. Ang solusyon, how to work with what income you have. Financial literacy will help create and parang contain this problem of growing consumerism, higher debt levels. Sabi ko, hindi talaga masusolve ng higher income. So I remember at the time, wala pang personal finance in the media at all. I sent a memo, Randall, to the publisher of Business World. Alam ko, kinuwento ko na to sa iyo dati. I sent a memo, I copied my editor. I was not yet an editor at the time. I sent a copy to the associate publisher, and then I said, can I have one page of Business World every week? I will fill it up with stories on financial literacy. So, nagkaroon ako ng pahina sa Business World, ang nakalagay, personal finance yung heading. So, every Monday, you will see may business, di ba? May news, may business, ganun. Every Monday, meron ng personal finance. And that's where I think it started. I got Efren as columnist. I got
Business World was a very niche newspaper, di ba?
Yes.
Only read by the rich. Honestly, di ba? So,
upper crust, kasi syempre medyo mahal din yung dyaryo namin. So what happened was, when I left Business World, I went to DFNN. I was asked by DFNN to create a financial literacy, a personal finance, a portal, and that portal was bought by Inquirer.
That's how it started.
That's why, and that's when it became mainstream.
Yeah.
That's where I wrote an article about you.
First time ko narinig yung word na blog sa'yo.
Yeah. So, mga 2000...
I know there's a... I'm saying there's a blog. Anong blog?
Anong blog? Wala pang nagbablog masyado nun.
The term blog. Wait. Circa 2007, 2005 yata.
Yes.
Ano?
2005.
You have this Inquirer blog. Anong blog?
That was a new vocabulary word for you. Pero when I wrote in my blog So for 2 years, I had a blog called Money Smarts. I wrote twice a day. Morning and evening. Ganon. Dalawang taon yun, Randall. It was my entire life in Money Smarts in inq7.net patawag nun. And one of those, I remember in one of those articles, I talked to you about bank assurance, remember? And then we talked, and I met you, and then we talked about it, and then I got so enthralled with your thinking about money and how it affects people's lives. So I remember I wrote an article on your life story, which came out in the Inquirer,
Yes.
and alam mo, nag-click yun kasi personal finance, in effect, links the big business stories to the individual who reads those stories. Kasi mas may sense na everything. You're an economist, you know that people don't understand what GDP is, di ba? So in a way, that's what we did. We linked.
Grabe, no?
Kaya ng sagot ko.
Tagal na pala, no?
Tagal na.
All these years. Wala pang mainstream. I mean, your Inquirer was the one who brought it to the mainstream. But you know, at the time na not everybody checks the internet pa, di ba? So grabe lang talaga all of these years. And I guess, you know, kindred spirit. I think that's a right term.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now,
and met at a very, parang kasi malapit sa crossroads. You were nearing your own crossroads.
Yeah.
I was also in my own crossroads. So it was and you know, I think, Randall, talaga, this is what we realize as we get older. There are moments of impact in our lives that only the universe, only God knows will happen. And if you just allow it to happen, you don't do anything even to guide it, everything will happen as according to plan.
Ganun lang. So, you know, I tell a lot of people, no, because when they see us, di ba, parang minsan nakakaya tayo dahil siyang gulo-gulo natin. Yung mga off-cam nga, hindi na pinapakita. Ano? Alaskahan and everything. But that's what it is, eh. We're really genuinely having fun. I mean, we're teaching, we're guiding, and it's important. Now, I want to be a little bit more personal. Babalik na rin ko kasi all this time, Salve is the one who interviews me. So, I know Marvin interviewed mo, so binalik ko. Inaanak ko yun, natatakot ako ma-interview niya kasi hindi ko alam mo itatanong yan out of the blue.
Totoo.
You know what? She was, bigla na lang out of the blue, put up his camera phone and then interviewed my wife. Sabi niya, Marvin.
That's what's fun with Marvin kasi. He has genuine love for this thing.
Yeah, I think he also has genuine love for people. That's
I agree.
I love about him. Okay, so I'm going to ask you a little bit more personal. Now, first and foremost, what sets you apart in the way you handle finance with everybody else? Ano, because the pressure on us, medyo minsan unfair din. They expect us to be such experts. They expect us not to make a mistake. They expect us na lahat ng investment natin kikita ng malaki. Parang mga ganun bagay. How do you handle that?
I think, alam mo, the best person to ask would be you. It's kasi if you tell people about yourself, it sounds parang also one-sided because there are a lot of things about you that you don't know. Yeah. So, mas believable when it comes from other people. Maybe lang what I will say about, sometimes, you know, you sit in the early morning and you wonder about why you're doing things, how you will continue. I think my emphasis, and this is not about what I look like to other people, how I differentiate myself. It's about what I really want to do. Really, Randall, is not really just focus on the practical sides of investing, where to put your money if you're just saving for emergency, why it's bad to do this and why it's good to do that. What I really want is a revolution on financial values. Kasi once that is okay, as a child gets older, as people who start a marriage come together and build their own family, once you have the right values in people, wealth is a byproduct.
Okay.
I really, really, truly believe that.
How do you...
Once ang tao hindi tamad, once marunong mag-ipon, once honest sa ginagawa nila, at tuloy-tuloy may disiplina, nothing on earth except poor leaders, a calamity, a pandemic, those external factors may really set back a lot of people. But let's say, assuming na wala yung external calamities na yon, you'll do well. So it's really the financial values that you'll see me posting more often about that, di ba?
And these calamities, you're gonna go through that. And these people that you mentioned are the first ones to recover also.
Agree.
Diba? Because of the values, no? Money, behavioral, diba? Money is really more behavioral than anything. But again, Salve, no? Between you and I, yun yung mahirap eh. Diba?
Behavior talaga is the...
How do we not begin to talk to people like, one of sumikat kami ni Salve dahil sa mga scam na yan.
Yes.
And I was telling Salve off cam that, I went to Mindanao last year, spoke to a few of them. Somebody said it's the third time for him to be scammed.
Tuloy pa rin.
Anymore. Parang, how do we now change the values? Kasi we need to be able to build scale. How do we do this? I mean, is education enough?
Hirap naman ang tanong mo. Maybe not even if we live up to 100 years, we will never know the answer to that. But I think what is really clear is that we won't stop trying. I think it's important that people understand there are other options. Okay? So I think at some point, people go to scams because they don't know any better. They don't realize that you can make as much money in the stock market if you do it intelligently and you keep your money there compounding over time. Because they don't understand that that's possible, they look to other ways. And marami tayo namang nakilala na tulungan na pumasok sa scam and then they realize, ay mali pala. Nakalabas, umayos yung buhay, diba? So I put my faith in the possibility that we will be able to educate and people will stop. Pero alam mo, Randel, katulad ng sinabi mo kanina, for some people, unfortunately, it will always be too late. Because talaga yung gusto nila eh. Quick money talaga ang habol eh. Yes.
Personal question. We've been doing this for many, many years. Huwag na natin sabihin kung gano'ng katagal. Pero yung mga binabanggit mo na mga terms, medyo nakakalata sila. No? Anyway, okay. So, are we progressing?
Financial literacy, alam ko lagi mo yan iniisip eh. Kasi pagod ka na ba? Minsan, alam ko.
Masaya tayo kasi may progress.
I understand that it's kind of tiring. There are moments na napapagod din ako sa kakasabi, paulit-ulit, and then there's another scam, and then you see a lot more people getting into it. So parang, ano ba? Are we making a difference? Alam mo, sagot ko lang sa'yo, Randel, ganito. Maybe I will not be able to prove in terms of the number of people who are now more financially literate. We see it anecdotally on Facebook, but we don't see it in the number of people who are invested. We don't see it in the number of people that are buying insurance. Diba? Because those levels are still low. The number of unbanked, it's not just because of low financial literacy. It's also because people don't have access. There's some barangays na wala talagang bangko, no? Oh, anong gagawin nila? Wala talaga. They have to go to another barangay just to open a bank.
Or another town.
Yeah. So, marami external factors. It's not just education that's lacking. But I have a lot of hope. You and I just ended our talks for DepEd.
Yeah.
That's another source of big hope. But for the teachers to be truly educated about financial literacy, and for each student in the public school to be able to grow up with this understanding na there's mutual fund, there's an index fund, there are bonds, there's the stock market, I think will allow us to have a generation. The next generations will be a lot better than us.
So
diba?
Basically what we're doing is generations after us would really benefit.
Yeah, there will be a tipping point. I think parang compounding eh. Sa simula mahirap, pero as you go up, it gets up a lot faster. So, hindi ko alam, Randel, kung anong taon mangyayari, kung buhay pa tayo.
So, I was talking to sila Diwa and everything, and the numbers are beginning to show higher savings rates. I mean, yes, it's siguro baka
a little
baka unfair din tayo kasi baka tayo masyado nagmamadali and all these things. Kasi, di ba? But, certain numbers macroeconomically are there. Of course, it needs to be better. But I think what really encourages us, you and I think, guys, minsan sobrang namin personal nagsabi kasi like mga OFW, ilan na yung naging kaibigan natin ng OFW talagang ako, wow. Ganun lang ako, wow. Now, you know, they're being exposed na because we want them to see. It's not us who can change the OFW, it's them. But, you know, you've seen that. You know, I see them. Bagitin, hi to sila Pablo. Featuring na sila. And it's nice.
Yes.
There's a lot of them. Although, favorite topic na sa akin, so, naman nawala ng trabaho, so dami na naman umuwi, so dami na naman hindi prepared, and that's something that it's a very...
Love life na ba si Pablo?
He has everything except that, no? So,
ireto na natin. Please subscribe. Please comment in the section below if you want to be Pablo's girlfriend.
He's gonna be featured in a big event this Friday.
And Sunlight. I saw.
Diba?
Yeah.
So everything. At least kahit na parang nagbe-mainstream na sila. So, guys, I want you to understand, Salve, me, Marvin, we're not doing this to be celebrities. Sa totoo lang, no?
I like a quiet life.
I like the quiet life, but we need to go out there to be able to live that. So, Salve, very personal. Ano pa ba ang mga, bali ngayon, one-on-one tayo, di ba? One-on-one everything. Ano ba yung big wish mo na mangyari? I mean, of course, you know, financial literacy. And I know, isa pa, I know you have a very soft spot to the women. Kasi, kaya rin importante sinabi, sobrang konti ng women sa personal finance, di ba? Hindi ka ba napapagod?
Bakit nga ba? Explain mo sa akin. Explain mo sa akin. Bakit nga ba wala masyadong babae?
Hindi maintindihan. Akala naman, pag si Salve naman kinuha ko, mas lalaki sa amin yan, ano? So, joke kami dyan lahat. Okay, so, no, but basically, I don't know nga eh. Well, maybe because it's finance, because it's money. I mean, finance in general has been a men-dominated, but we've seen certain areas like life insurance, no? We have stories of Lisa Mantaring are strong women and so forth. I don't know nga why. That's why, baka ikaw ka lamang mag-raise up ng women, Salve.
Pag-iisipan natin yan.
Okay.
Hindi ko alam kung paano ko magagawa. But yeah, wait. I mean, we want more people talking about this.
We want more women.
Yeah,
we want more women. Yeah. Siguro baka nasa grade school pa sila ngayon. Ikaw ka rin mas kwelahan.
Wait lang. Parang sila nasa grade school, ako kasing tangkad lang ng grade school. Ganon. Diba? Ano sa tingin mo? I'll ask you a question. What do you think is the biggest risk now to improving personal incomes? I mean, aside from the pandemic, syempre, people are losing their jobs. Depending on welfare is never good for financial literacy kasi money that you get easily, that's money also easily gone. I mean, di ba, when you work hard for it, it's always easy to overspend when there's money that you don't work hard for. But aside from that, what can really hurt what we do?
I would like to echo what you say, you have seen also. Yung money values, for me, to a great degree, a lot of them deteriorated. You know, sorry, I have to sound so old, no? I love the money values of the lolos and the lolas. You know, alam mo yung money does not define who they are, but at the same time, they respect it. Unlike today, parang you use money as a source of power, as a source of, you know, parang a lot of people use money as they put their worth in money, which is very dangerous. That's why they get into more trouble. So I think the money values along the way is something that needs to be changed. And having said that, that's values pa rin ng tao eh. Kaya nga, I think one of the things that kaya siguro tayo magkakasundo, no, at the end of what we do, it's not just about pagpapayaman and everything. It's the values of what people do. Ako kaya kung gusto turuan ng mga Pilipina, mababait eh. Kaso wala lang pantulong. So, we need to teach them. You know, and I know it's hard. That's why I've taken a different route. I've used a lot of spiritual you know, stuff so that I can actually affect them, at least on that side. But syempre, hindi lang naman yun na pwede natin gawin. That's the thing that's very, very important. So, I also do, you know, I also try to talk to, you know, financial advisors, people in the finance. Sila din dapat tama rin ang values eh. Hindi lang tao, everybody else. So, yun lang. And yun yung aking great wish. Sana maayos natin yung values natin. So,
alam mo, I'd want nga people to say, I mean, if I were young today, I will look up to someone who will say, I'd rather be poor than do something dishonest. Alam mo yun, because the how is more important than the what. Even if you get really rich, like rich beyond your wildest dreams, na hindi ka na magtatrabaho but yet your money works for you and it gets bigger and bigger every day. I mean, that's fine. Pero if you achieve that through dishonest things, or may tinapakan kang ibang tao, I mean, we may sound very preachy right now, no? And I know that most people might think na ito naman, parang kala mo, linis-linis nila, diba? It's also something that we strive for every day, right?
Yeah.
And we may not be able to do it perfectly, but we will not do it on purpose.
Yeah.
And that's what we need in society today. That's what we see. That's the rot. That's the cancer.
Yeah.
That when you see people doing dishonest things just to be rich, that's not the kind of financial literacy we teach.
The thing that siguro that needs to change also, I need people to start thinking that money is not the end goal. Because it's such a thing for them. And I see a lot of, and that's why I've been doing a lot of mentoring for younger talking to them na parang I need to be super rich and super at 30. May ganung concept, di ba? May ganung context. And our friend, Dono Macanando, ano ba meron sa 30? Parang ganun kami nag-iisip. I mean, if you hear, okay. Pero, I mean, we teach them kaya nga, nagmamadali kung ano ginagawa nila. That's why it's very important to be able to do that. Yeah, it sounds preachy, but without money, without values, is a very dangerous thing.
Pero alam mo, there's a survey also with millennials today. Money is important to them.
Yeah, yung nga.
Oo.
Too important sometimes.
They're conscious about it. Maybe because they saw the mistakes of the generations before them. So ayaw na nilang maging ganon. They want, but money to them, I don't think it's an end goal. It's more of a tool to achieve the freedom they want. Yeah. It's really free. It's a tool for freedom talaga. They don't want to be stuck in a job na ayaw nila.
Problem na.
Or in a house that they don't like.
I think they just need to really think about what that freedom means to them. Kasi, again, it's only a means to achieve something. So, very important. That's why when all these young people that I try to mentor, I really sit down with them and, spend time with them. Because purpose pa rin eh. Diba? Everything that you do will lead to that purpose. Kasi everybody talks about their passion, talks about these things. And just to something, I was talking to somebody doing some numbers, and everybody wants to be a YouTube star. The problem is, sobrang dami pala nagkakaroon ng mental health issue, depression, anxiety.
Yes.
Because how many people can be YouTube stars? And they anchor everything on that. And again, going back to values becomes a problem. So, medyo traditionalist pa rin ako. I like the, alam mo yun, the old school, slow but sure way. Tapos ngayon nababasa mo yung mga parang Warren Buffett style does not work anymore in the new normal.
Yeah.
Okay. If you have that much money, you can say that. Pero ganun lang.
Actually, hindi pa nga din eh. Even if you have the money, but if you think that the things that we've learned before are no longer useful, you'll find yourself on your knees in a couple of years realizing that this lesson was very expensive.
Over the years, I've met a lot of really, really successful rich people. And something I want to tell people, everyone, not all of them are happy. Some of them are miserable. Hindi ko na makuha yung term eh. So, alam mo yung taong sobrang lalim na ng mga hugot sa buhay. Parang, I'd rather not have that much money and not have much hugot in my life. So, I guess what we try to here is, do not lose yourself in trying to find your dreams and everything, because that's more important. Then, stuff like relationships are more important. Mga ganun bagay. So, wow, grabe. Ba't dito napunta yung usapan natin, Salve?
Ewan ko sa'yo. Ikaw nagpatanong
we're getting into at the end of the day. And really important, no? So I love this interaction, values and important. So last question ko na sa'yo. What are the values? And I know you love your kids. I've seen them grow. Takat na yung blue. So, di ba sabi mo, kayong day na tatangkarang ka ni Blue, di ba?
Yeah. Almost. It's almost there.
Mga in 2 weeks. Okay, so wag ka mag-heels. Okay, so So, alam mo, darating tayong panahon, you've seen them, they're growing. I got a married daughter. I'm sure malapit ka na susunod. Joke ko lang. Pag nag-asawa, ibang mga anak, kapag nag-asawa si Blue, yan ang hindi ko alam.
Wag naman. Grabe, ang tagal pa nun.
Okay, so what are these, if you are, now I know we're teaching your kids and alam natin, di ba, hindi naman nag-work yung sermon, what are these values that sana, alam mo din, wala sa control natin, at the end, sana na-pick up nila yung values na, what values are those? At your kids, money values, at sana, gusto mo nakita ng mga anak mo and na-practice din nila.
I think what I want them to. So for instance, as they grow up, sometimes they ask this very innocent question na, are we rich? Yung ganon. Because syempre, mga bata yan eh. They see other people, children in the streets, diba?
Innocent pero valid question.
Yeah. And then they see someone, my child goes to a school where some of the classmates have security detail, yung mga ganyan. And so they sort of try to find their position in the world. Their worldview now depends on your answer. Well, are you rich? Are you very rich? Are you not rich? And I think that's something that will be asked by anyone listening today. And so I've always told them, now we're not rich, but we're okay. Like I told you kanina, it's useless to compare.
Yeah.
And I wish that throughout their lifetime, kasi that comparison can ruin lives eh. And I want them to measure themselves through an inner scorecard, not an outer scorecard. But at the same time, after I tell them we're not, because we live simply. I'll tell you an anecdote later, matatawa ka. So we live simply, no?
I'll send the link of this YouTube to them.
Yeah. So we live simply, we're not rich. But at the same time, I tell them, if somebody asks you, what is your worth? That's different. Because you have infinite worth. Magkaiba yun, Randall, di ba? We know that, and I hope other people realize the nuance, the very substantial difference between are you rich and what are you worth. Because what you're really worth is, it cannot be measured. And wherever you go, if you know how much you're worth, not even the lack of money will make you feel that you're not worth something. So that's very fundamental. And that's why when your children grow up, and I'm not trying to preach because I'm not a perfect mom. I always, every day is a daily struggle. Every day when I make a mistake, I ask them for forgiveness. Pero alam mo yung desire mo na as they grow old, from the moment they're born to the moment they die, sana naman hindi tayo, dapat tayo mauna sa kanila, di ba? That they realize that their worth is that much to us. That there is no single moment in their life where they wonder, nag-aalala sila kung enough ba ako sa kanila. Because I think when your children realize that they are enough, you will avoid many of the financial issues that our generation, the generation before us, and the generations that will follow have really had problem with.
Sarap, no? So liberating that we can discuss these things because we're not on TV. And...
Oo nga, kasi hindi. So, I'll tell you what this story. So, Blue was invited to a party very quickly. So, he was invited to a party and I said, I had an event. I couldn't bring him to the party. And also because in this school, there's so many birthday parties throughout the year. So, hindi ko ugali na mag-party because in the house, we don't have birthday parties. I only invite like 2 or 3 friends to come over. They bake or they make pizza, and that's it. That's their birthday party. And Blue has always asked me, why don't we go to birthday parties? Why don't we throw big parties? And I said, it's a waste of money. Kasi you prepare so much, you spend so much, and did you even speak to any one of those people you invite na in a way na you shared a moment with your soul? Hindi, di ba? So I said, it's not worth it. So anyway, moving forward, na-invite. I couldn't say no because this lady was very important to me. They were going away to Japan. And she said, why don't you bring Blue to my house at 1? Ako na magdadala sa kanya sa party and then you can pick him up at 7. So wala na akong ligtas, Randel. Ayun, pumunta ang anak ko. Pagdating doon, sabi ba naman ni Blue doon sa nanay, you know what? You're spending too much for this party. You're wasting your money.
Teachable moment.
How much are you spending? You're spending for the balloons, for the cake, etc. Do you think you will be able to speak to any one of your guests like you're sharing your soul? You won't. You're wasting your money.
Sabi niya yan, no? Grabe.
Sinabi niya, buti na lang, she is my very good friend. So she told me afterwards, alam mo, natutuwa ko sa anak mo, but pulang-pula, Randel, yung mukha ko. Hiyang-hiya ako. Sabi ko kay Blue, anak, I will not say that those things you said are not true because they're true, but next time, don't naman preach to other people.
Ano yan eh, it's not for us, it's for them. Yan.
Yeah.
Galing. Anak mo nga talaga siya. Markado talaga. Markado. Okay. So again, Salve, this has been a wonderful engagement for us. For guys, sorry, we've always been talk about like kami nagpa-flashback. Ganyan talaga pag may
I know.
Nagpa-flashback na.
Sana hindi kayo na-bore sa mga flashback na.
Pero really important. Kasi what I want people to see, Salve, we're finance people, we're ordinary people. We have our own struggles. And money is important for us, but it's not the most important thing in our family. People think that I talk about money in the dining table every night. Hello? Diba?
You don't?
But I complain. But basically, we don't know. I mean, there's moments, there's teachable moments. They expect our children to be stock market experts. Hello. We never put those on them. It's always about, the values. But then, and we agree, if we teach them the values, not teach them, but show them the values, we know that in the end of the day, because parents, huwag kayo masyado controlling sa mga anak niyo. Matanda na ako, may nag-asawa na. No? Iba na yung language. No,
ayoko pang pumunta dyan sa posisyon mo, ha? Malayo pa ako dyan, ha? Ayoko pa maging lola.
Parang hindi ka naman malayo, ha?
Pinagpawisan ako, Randel.
Marrying age na soon. Okay, so,
oh, no.
Ganun talaga. So, again, parting words po for all our listeners. Salve, talk about money, values, everything. Anything to want to close this session with us?
Yeah, I want people to realize that there is always hope, Randel. In the times of the pandemic, some of you might have lost your jobs. Some of you might have lost a lot of money. I mean, in the market's been going up and down, diba? Some of you might have businesses and natanggal yun. Definitely, the next few years will be very different from what you've known. There will be a new world order. We don't know what it will look like. Recovering from this crisis will not take 1 year or 2 years, no matter all those economic forecasts you hear about. Whenever you hear of anyone making forecasts, you always take that with a grain of salt because it's always hindsight is the best side. Diba? You can always say, I made a mistake, so what? But having said that, prepare for the worst, but expect the best. Mm-hmm. That's always the best solution. And never ever forget that what you had in your mind before the lockdown began, it's still there. All your skills, all your vast experience, all the lessons that you've learned up to this point, they're still yours.
Yeah.
They are your best assets. And you will be able to move forward no matter what happens. Just don't ever quit.
And that makes you a wealthy person. All right? So I'm going to put your social media links. They can follow Salve.
Thank you.
She's been very active in the social medias now. Or you can catch their show ANC on the Money. It's one of those shows na alam natin na bago maraming buhay ng maraming tao.
I'm on ANC Conversations now, Randel. Tuesdays and Thursdays before TV.
Where can they see you? On the Money?
On ANC. Yeah, it's on ANC. Every Tuesdays and Thursdays before TV Patrol, and then you can also soon my YouTube channel will be up.
Parang nakita ko nakita.
Oo nga, that's true.
Minsan eh.
I know.
Okay, so
and then there's IG and Facebook, of course, and Twitter.
Alright, so we're gonna put all of these links there. So thank you, Salve. I hope
Maraming salamat.
we need to eat. We need to drink coffee. we need to...
Very soon. I hope very soon.
Ay, hindi pa kita na-Alaska ng matagal-tagal na.
Hindi naman ako nagtatago. Alaska hindi kita. Huwag kang mag-alala.
And you know, we're good friends, Rex, Marvin, and you know, after this, I think we owe it ourselves to see each other and, you know, good time style. All right?
Yes.
So,
Picture muna kita.
Picture.
Picture muna. Baka makalimutan mo. 1, 2, 3. Naunahan kita. 1, 2, 3, smile. Yay.
Okay. So with that, thank you very much, Salve. God bless you. I'm really looking forward to, you know, how your kids have grown. You know, gusto ko umabot yung point na sasabi mo sa akin natin mag-asawa na si Blue. Yan yung ano, yan yung hinihintay ko.
Si Blue! Diyos ko, matagal pa yun.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye!
Subscribe to the channel, please.